What's up, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Wild Blueberries Roundtable. Today, I am here with Andrew, Renz, Alex, and our last of our members who wasn't here last week, Joey. Say what's up, guys.
What's up?
Hey,
Hey.
All right.
it's a good day.
So today we got on the schedule the wonderful NFL draft featuring some obscure thoughts on the guy who was picked 6 and definitely is going to throw a lot of them in the NFL. The NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs, as well as our little last thoughts rundown. So I will get us started right into the NFL draft. Kyler Murray ended up going first overall to the Arizona Cardinals, and he will take over as the starter week 1 and then get prime time, I believe, week 2 already. So he is going to have a very strong start to the year media-wise. And again, now he's playing in the same division as some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL by the names of Russell Wilson and Jared Goff. Now, in return of that, Josh Rosen was traded into my favorite team's division. He was traded to the Miami Dolphins for the 62nd overall pick, which became Andy Isabella, who's a wide receiver at UMass, potential Larry Fitz replacement, number 1 when he retires, as well as a 2025th. Now, the one question is in Miami, will Josh Rosen or Ryan Fitzpatrick be the starter to start the year? So I'll go ahead and give my opinion first. I think it's going to be Rosen because I feel like what Brian Flores is going to see in Rosen is that he has the motive to work and learn after he saw what wonderful, tumultuous ending that season was in Arizona. He wants to win. He really is willing to win and willing to learn. And I feel like under Flores' system, despite being a D-back coach, I think he'll be able to whip Rosen into shape, and having Fitzpatrick back there as a mentor would be great for him. All right, so Renz, over to you. Fitzpatrick or Rosen to start the year?
Honestly, I think they actually just go with Fitzpatrick for like maybe a week or two. Like, I legitimately think Rosen's just the backup for now. And then they're going to see what they can get out of Fitzpatrick. If it goes sour quickly, which I think it would, they're going to switch to Rosen.
They signed him to a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So, Joey, what about your opinion?
I think it has to be Rosen. Giving up a second-round pick for him, it's the guy they want to bring in and give the franchise over to. So Fitz might start if he is having a hard time learning the playbook, but with already having a year and 13 starts under his belt, I think he takes it.
Well, I mean, Fitzpatrick was the starter for Tampa most of the year last year, while Jameis's turnover bakery continued. So shout out to the only urinating tree for that reference. Jameis Winston was definitely baking some more turnovers last year, and that's why Fitzpatrick played a lot of the season. Alex, what about you?
I think Rosen is the better quarterback right now, but I think Fitzmagic is going to start week 1.
And then Andrew?
I've got Rosen starting. He's going to win the job in camp. He's just the better quarterback overall, and the Fitzmagic that we saw last year he does a magic trick and disappears. And that magic he has is no longer there.
His beard keeps growing, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. But my thoughts on the trade, that was a steal for Miami, I think.
It really was.
Because Arizona already paid the signing bonus for Rosen. So Miami only has to pay $6 million a year for the next 3 years for their starting quarterback. That's a lot of money to build a team around, and they have a 4th-year option. So they got at least 4 years of Josh Rosen for around $6 million a season.
All right, so now moving on from the Josh Rosen talks onto the other quarterbacks. Some of the big highlights in the NFL draft in the first round for quarterbacks. Obviously, we got Murray. We got Dwayne Haskins to Washington at 15. Looked like a steal now based on what happened with the rest of the draft. The other first round quarterback, though. I think we all have we all have sort of the same opinion on this, but to varying degrees. Why did the Giants pick Daniel Jones at 6?
My opinion, Gettleman is reloading. He's reloading.
Like LOL, reload.
Yes, not reloading, reloading. Because for some reason he was worried about the Denver Broncos and Washington Redskins taking a quarterback before their pick at 17.
And you took the wrong one.
They were worried about them taking Daniel Jones before 17. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. Not a great quarterback, I should say. He was a solid college starter. But he would have been available at 17 had you gone with a different player at 6.
Now, the thing with Daniel Jones is everybody is now looking like you see people like backing him up and everything, and then you've just got like the people that are just throwing out all the fun stuff, like how he lost his last game at Duke, like to Wake Forest, like 59-7. Or he looks like that guy that a movie company would hire to play Eli Manning in a Peyton Manning documentary. And also Gettleman said he may not start for 3 years. So obviously there were some god-awful discussions in that draft room that I highly believe some people did not agree with. What's your take?
Hold up, just a second. They really expect Eli to last another three seasons.
I mean, he'll last another 3 seasons. He'll just be throwing picks.
Yeah, all the time.
Like Daniel Jones' position in the draft. He'll just throw pick sixes.
I'll take that. But the Giants have also drafted the MVP from the Senior Bowl in the past drafts.
Now,
3 Senior Bowl MVPs.
Now, here's the thing about that. I'm almost convinced that David's Gettleman, like, pure draft plan in the first round is like, oh, who's doing good in that Senior Bowl? Okay, you're my pick.
Yeah, you look at the rest of their picks in the first round. Dexter Lawrence, I think Dexter Lawrence will be okay. I don't think he'll be a great D tackle. I mean, there were obviously some better options on the board. And then DeAndre Baker at 30, as they traded up to get him, I think he would have been available in the second round. And if DeAndre Baker wasn't available in the second round, there were tons of good corners on the board. Byron Murphy, Rockets.
It was supposed to be a weekend of serious binge watching.
And any of them, they were all available. And you traded up to get one.
And just tracking back to like the Dexter Lawrence pick, you could have had Montez Sweat. Like, I rather would have him than
they didn't.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess since Ren's jumped in, what's your opinion on the Jones? Well, I guess you gave your opinion on the Jones pick.
Not really at all. Like, not during this podcast. So, my opinion about Jones. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I want to be optimistic about this, but Jones has the ratings of backup quarterback on him, in my opinion.
The projections for him are as high as Matt Ryan, as low as Ryan Tannehill. I've seen
Ryan Tannehill, like, I feel like Jones is more of a Tannehill thing, but, like, going back to that, like, there's rumors that the Giants might have just drafted him because he was coached by Daniel Cutcliffe.
Yeah.
But, like, the Jones pick, like, I legitimately think that I think that smoke that the Broncos and Redskins were going to take, and, like, this might just be my opinion, but out of all the four like big quarterbacks, Locke, Jones, Haskins, and Murray, he'd be at the bottom of my list. Like he's like a day 2 guy to me.
On the bottom of everybody's list. I think he would have
Yeah.
been double on day 2 at this point.
Like heck, maybe Greer gets taken earlier than him. Like you don't take him at 6. Like you just try to play Denver's and Washington's like bluff. You don't pick him at 6 when there's like so many other players you could have had. Like Josh Allen, they need a pass rush. He's right there. You could have taken him.
They didn't. All right.
Yeah.
So, Alex, back to you. What's your opinion on the Daniel Jones pick?
I think he's an Eli clone. He plays like Eli and he looks like Eli.
Yeah. I mean, exactly what I was saying. The entire thing on social media has been that Daniel Jones looks like the guy that a casting company would hire to play Eli Manning in a Peyton Manning documentary. He looks like Eli. Like, legit.
Yet he'll be worse than Eli.
Yeah.
He won't win 2 Super Bowls. That's for sure.
Definitely not. And the Blues just scored.
I mean, to be fair, Daniel Jones might do the Eli way of derping his way to the Super Bowl. It's a possibility.
He would probably derp his way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Tyler Bozak just scored.
Wow.
Obviously, as we're recording this, the Blues and Stars are playing Game 3, so there's definitely some distraction, not as much as other things that we had to change scheduled recording time last week that we will talk about in the hockey section. That will definitely include some rambling about referees. But Joey...
Oh, yes, it will.
Joey, what's your opinion on the Daniel Jones pick?
And I was going to say, Daniel Jones will be a decent QB. He won't be, like, top 10 worthy. We'll look back on him and be like, he was worth a second-round pick. Like, he's not going to be worth the...
You know who else was worth the second-round pick? Russell Wilson.
Good point.
Yeah. I'd say Kyler Murray's a Russell Wilson clone, kind of.
Oh, yeah, they're going to play the same, and they're going to play each other twice a year.
Yeah, and it's going to be wonderful to watch those two teams play. Except Seattle's got a much better defense.
Yeah.
So they're just going to beat up on him.
And it doesn't help that Arizona's O-line is so bad. Like, I feel Murray's going to get mauled in year 1.
Well, both O-lines are, and Russell somehow doesn't get mauled as much as he should.
Because he's fast.
Yeah. So I think Kyler's going to be able to stay out of some of that because of his athletic ability, but it's still going to be a rough season for him back there.
Yeah.
I don't know, it will be.
All right, so, Joey, what's your opinion on the Daniel Jones pick?
Pretty much what everyone said. It seems like the Giants thought he was Eli 2.0. That's why they took him. Every year we get this kind of thing where an NFL team takes a EJ Manuel or someone super high because they fell in love with them, and there was no possibility anyone else would have taken him.
Are you comparing Daniel Jones to EJ Manuel?
Daniel Jones will be a much better quarterback than EJ Manuel, but the situation of them taking him so high when I think they could have gotten him in the second round easily and been completely fine.
All right.
So they definitely could have gotten Daniel Jones on day 2 or even day 3 because
I would have fallen to 3, but I really think they could have taken him day 2.
Will Greer didn't go till the second to last pick of day 2.
Yeah, but
and he was the 4th quarterback off the board.
Even if they do take Josh Allen, 17, they take someone and do the trade up for like DeAndre, and they trade for Daniel Jones, even that I think would have been a better situation.
Yeah, they could have taken Allen, and if they really like DeAndre Baker, they could have traded down from 17 to take him. And then use some of those assets to trade up from the second round back into the first to take Jones. But don't take Jones at 6. And we're all going to look back at this and say, the Giants messed up.
Either that, or it'll make us all like idiots.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Do we really expect that from Gettleman?
Absolutely not. Gettleman's an idiot.
The only good thing Gettleman did during this draft is he took the cousin of New York Islanders captain Anders Lee. That's about it. And that was just appealing the New York fan base. All right, so back to the rest of the quarterbacks. Besides Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones, because Jones will definitely be the starter in the future, and Haskins will probably start at some point this year. Drew Lock, Will Greer, Ryan Finley, even Jarrett Stidham. Do any of them have a chance to take the reins over the next couple of years? Obviously, with Stidham and Finley, they have Brady and Dalton in front of them, and Greer has Newton, but Newton's been dealing with some injury concerns. But I think Drew Lock has a chance to start this year.
I think Drew Lock probably could start games this year if Flacco performs poorly, but most likely I see him taking over next year at the earliest, and just because of he'll have a year to sit behind Joe Flacco and learn the Broncos offense.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else, besides Locke, does anybody else have any input with any QBs that could even see the ball this year?
Yeah, I do.
Which one?
The one for the Panthers. Let's see here.
Will Greer.
Just for the sole reason of there's rumors that Cam Newton might miss the entire season because of shoulder surgery.
That is a rumor. I feel like if the Panthers end up in the playoff hunt, then he may want to come.
Oh no, he'll come back. They'll make him.
Yeah, but I understand you're saying that Greer's gonna potentially get some time this year.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking Greer just gets time just for the sole reason of injury concern, not because of performance.
And, before we move on to our last two questions of the football segment, shout out to the San Diego Chargers. Now, obviously, most of us are hockey guys. They picked a wonderful quarterback by the name of Easton Stick. Now, this is just pure entertainment factor that his name is Easton Stick and he's playing football.
I love me some Easton Stick.
Yep.
3-time FCS champion.
Yeah.
2-time starting quarterback for the FCS national champion North Dakota State Bison.
But
Sat 2 years behind Carson Wentz, or a year behind Carson Wentz, who won 4 national championships at North Dakota State. 2 of them as a starter. North Dakota State football develops some really good football players that don't get drafted because they're FCS.
Yep. And then they developed Carson Wentz, but that's another story.
And Carson Wentz is a man possessed when he's at the top of his game.
And he's a man possessed with injuries at the same time. All right, moving on to the last couple questions.
I want to say this real quick about There was this quote by Quinn Williams that said, "There's no way the Cardinals waste the first overall pick on someone who can't even ride the roller coaster."
I heard about that. I heard about
my
that.
defensive end. That is my football player.
Yep, that good old nose tackle.
Person who looks like he's 12. He is the first draft pick the Jets have drafted that actually still needs an orthodontist.
Yep.
But moving into that, and obviously he is definitely a topic of discussion for this first question. Round 1. Who is going to be the best player to come out of round 1? Obviously, you're looking at the guys that have been rumored to be the top players, and my answer is Quinnen Williams. Unbiased, Quinnen Williams is the best athlete in this draft. He's got the highest potential. I think that with Greg Williams and having some guys like Leonard Williams, Steve McClendon, CJ Mosley, such a great defense core, I think that's going to help him so much. And having somebody like Mosley for the near future, he got a 5-year deal, Mosley. But I feel like that's going to really help Williams' development really quick. Renz, who do you have as the top player coming out of round 1?
To me, I don't. As much as I want to say Williams, I'm trying to just stay out of there just for biased because I know I'm going to be biased for it. But I'm thinking it might just be Bosa.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nick Bosa is going to be great. Like,
Oh, he's gonna be a stud.
I feel like quarterbacks always get drafted higher than they should.
Well, yeah, because it's like a franchise-altering move. Like the most important position in football is the quarterback.
Mhm. All right, Joey.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bosa, and it's almost because of the teams they're gonna end up playing. Arizona, terrible offensive line. Seattle, bad offensive line. I think he's gonna be able to get in on the quarterbacks, and 49ers have done a good job at loading up their front. So you're gonna have to double team someone. If it's not Bosa, Bosa's gonna wreck you.
Yeah, and I mean, you're looking. They have Quan Alexander and D Ford now. They added back to their defense, and DeForest Buckner, Solomon Thomas. They have a really good decor, and nobody realizes it. Like they're up there with teams like they have one of the best decors in the NFL. So do the Jets are up there now. You're looking at after they spent big money on CJ Mosley. But overall, like defense is becoming something teams are focusing more and more on every year. It used to be an offensive first league. Defense is coming into play, even though guys like Russell Wilson and Cam Newton, Jared Goff, Pat Mahomes, they're all just throwing the football down the field. Andrew, who do you have as the player coming out of the first round?
You missed one guy. Carson Wentz also likes to throw the ball down the field. Just need to throw that in there.
Fair.
Sorry.
Throwing that in there.
But
sorry.
The best player I think that's going to come out of the first round, like obviously the top guys are going to be really good, but I think Devin Bush has a chance to be one of the better players drafted this year.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's the Steelers coaching staff is really good, and that's a place where I think he'll be able to shine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They got their they got their star defensive talent. All right, Alex, who do you have?
The biased part of myself wants to say Ed Oliver, but I'm gonna go with Bosa too.
All right, so we got Devin Bush, Bosa, Williams, obviously the easy suspects. Now it's the hard part because I won't say the bust to come out of the first round. I'll say who will turn out to be worse than expected out of the first round. My player. Now, obviously, there's no bias to this because I have no connection to this team at all. I just feel like the way Dwayne Haskins performed this year, I feel like with a team like Washington, I don't know if he's going to be able to put up the same numbers. I feel like he'll be able to be good. I just feel like he was way too overhyped. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, the Giants should pick Haskins, the Raiders should pick Haskins. Yeah, they should have, but I don't think he's going to be like that generational quarterback the Redskins need. Joey?
It's kind of hard because a lot of the guys, I mean, outside of Jones, obviously, were kind of guys I expected. Really, the only one I think might struggle is like DeAndre Baker. He's going to get asked to do a lot with the Giants immediately, and people are going to pick on him instantly.
Yeah, Janoris Jenkins obviously isn't the most high tier of cornerbacks anymore. Obviously, the same with the Jets. We were all pulling for a corner because we don't know what's going to come out of Trumaine Johnson this year. Renz?
Yeah, for me, this might sound weird to some of you guys, but Devin White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, what I'm coming from is that he hasn't had a lot of time to go into middle linebacker. So, and there's a lot of footage of him like missing his like assignments so badly. But at the same time, I'm thinking like if if Todd Bowles can coach him right, he'll be a great player. But I could see him struggling right at the gate.
Yeah, Arians and Bulls. That's a great coaching staff in Tampa Bay. I will say that right now. Obviously, from experience, Todd Bowles is a better DC than HC. Obviously, having him as the head coach of my New York Jets for a little bit was not
It
the
wasn't fun.
eventful thing in the world.
He's
So, who else hasn't gone yet? Andrew.
I'd say just because of the high expectations that the team's going to have for him in Oakland, Cleveland Farrell is going to be a disappointment
Mayock pick
because of how high he was picked
oh yeah, the
than
other
the
big
actual
reach.
than the actual talent level that he has. He's going to perform a lot worse than they want him to right out of the gate.
Yeah, because like there's nothing. It's not that Farrell's a bad player or anything. It's just that when Mike Mayock came out and said they may make a surprise pick at 4, everybody was thinking Haskins. We did not think it was going to be Cleveland Farrell. All right. So that is going to wrap up.
Are we just?
Wait.
I didn't say.
Forgot about you. All right.
I feel so appreciated.
I completely forgot. I thought I hit everybody.
Sorry, Alex.
Yep, sorry.
So who do you have as your worst?
My worst. I mean, again with Farrell just being picked so high, like Oakland had so many options there, but it shows that Gruden really liked him, and I think that pressure might end up getting to him.
All right. So
also, Josh Allen might not. I mean, I like Josh Allen, but still, I don't think he'll be like as good as everybody's saying he will.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of edge rushers were drafted in the first round, and it's gonna be interesting to see who comes out as the better picks and who are the better players.
Yeah, I like to use the Bledsoe comparison a lot. Like, he was a solid QB, but at the first overall pick, you expect, like, generational talent.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm sorry about that, Alex, because we've spent a lot of time on football, and we've got 2 more big subjects to get to. So, Renz, I think you're taking over for the NHL playoffs.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so right now it's the start of round 2, so I kind of want to do a recap of round 1. So this is just what I'm going to say. What the heck is happening? So the first thing is every single 1 seed's gone. Like, how? It's also the first time it's also happened in big sports history. And now we're getting this like thing called like the Wildcard Chaos Squad, where you guys have probably all heard this, where
Yep.
yeah, where the Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, Stars, and oh god, I'm trying to remember what's the and the Avalanche have all made this thing up, which I find it great. So
give me a Hurricanes Avs final.
Yeah, that would be great. So
craziness.
The bunch of jerks versus the Avalanche.
Yep, that would be great. So here's the top teams left on the that have home ice. The Bruins have home ice if they make it all the way. Then it's the Islanders, Sharks, and then Hurricanes. That's insanity. So I want to relay into this so what's the most exciting series in round 1? To me, honestly, it was Canes and Caps. I just loved everything about that series. Like especially that double overtime goal. Like that was great. Let's go with you, Joey. What was your most exciting series in round 1?
In a complete biased, the Blue Jackets sweeping the number 1 team President's Trophy winner. It was, where, Blue Jackets will get swept. They'll ruin everything after trading up so much for this year. But the way they played that first series, it was so much fun to watch.
I mean, they did give us some glorious memes, so I do love that.
They did give us some great memes, and the NHL
Yep.
always loves their memes.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to you, Scott. What was your exciting series around one?
Well, I mean, I'll give you, first off, Islanders, Penguins, and Blue Jackets, Tampa, both great series because of the sweeps. The most exciting series for me, though, and this is just as a hockey fan, was Sharks and Golden Knights.
Yeah, that was a really good series.
The officiating issues in Game 7 after we're all done with this, but I know all of us have some strong opinions about the whole Cody Eakin crashing Paul Stas or Joe Pavelski into Paul Stastny thing.
Okay.
Who else
is Andrew?
This is just because even though we knew this series was gonna happen from October, Boston-Toronto.
Oh
yeah.
Was an amazing series that we knew was happening all year.
Yep, and we knew everyone knew it was going to 7.
Yeah, and we knew it was going 7. But the most surprising thing is, they've gone to 7 the past 2 years, and 0 overtime games.
That's the thing that weirds me out the most.
How have they not gone to overtime once in 14 games in the playoffs?
That's the thing that I'm getting the most upset about. Like, these have been 2 great series. Come on, just tie the game and go to overtime for once.
But it's also given us the glorious memes of the Islanders, without John Tavares,
have made it
further than John Tavares.
John Tavares is golfing right now.
Was John Tavares leaving a good thing for the Islanders?
Yes, it was.
It does save them a lot of cap space.
I think the bigger thing was the Islanders coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Trotz made a huge difference with that team.
That team turned from a team that kept bleeding shots to a fucking wall on defense.
Well, true, and you could say, oh, well, Tavares wouldn't have played defense like Trotz wanted to. He's still John Tavares. He can still put up points.
And John Tavares plays very good defense. He's an underrated two-way player.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
as good as he is offensively, he's probably a little worse defensively than he is offensively, but he's still pretty good defensively.
He is very strong in the faceoff circle. I'll give him that. But Robert Bortuzzo just checked Essa Lindell down, so Bortuzzo's going to the box.
Okay. So Alex,
who will
what about
NBCS and show a highlight reel of?
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so after that, Alex.
The box too. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Alex, what's your most exciting series?
Well, the obvious answers are Vegas Knights and Jerks Caps, and yeah, those were very entertaining. But I'm gonna go with the Isles and the Pens. Just the way that the Isles outsped this team that we all see as one of the best of the century.
Oh, so something that Scott would like. Crosby only got 1 point.
Crosby was shut down by Adam Pelech all series. That's just the one thing. Adam Pelech was snubbed for the Hart.
Okay. I also love that Crosby only had 1 point in that series. Being a Flyers fan, Crosby didn't show up in the playoffs for once.
I mean, I think it's just a Metro team thing that they just don't want Crosby to show up in the playoffs. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just a sport thing in general. First off, just a little tangent. Was Patrick Kane snubbed for the Hart? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
No.
All right. That was just a tangent because obviously the whole debate is why is Crosby. Dallas just had it. No, Dallas missed. Whoops. But that was just a little tangent because there was a whole issue with Crosby being in the Hart race, which is fun. All right.
Or the Selke race too.
Yep.
Which he probably should be, honestly.
He honestly should.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we got all that round 1 stuff out, let's talk about round 2. And there's already been a few games started in round 2, so we're gonna go this series by series. And let's start with the one with the 2-0 lead, Isles versus Canes. So, who do you think wins it after those 2 games?
I'll take the Canes in 6. I think Curtis McElhinney plays Game 3. He plays really well. But the Isles take Game 3 in Charlotte tomorrow night. Mrazek returns for Game 4. They win it. The Isles win back in Brooklyn at Barclays, and the Canes win it at home in front of their fans. And we see a playoff storm surge.
Oh, no.
Oh, that'd be cool.
They're not doing a storm surge. They said they're not.
I know they said they
wish
weren't,
they
but I'd
would.
love to
I
see a
wish they
playoff
would.
storm surge
I wish they would.
after a series clinching win.
Yeah. Okay, Joey, what about you?
I also think Canes. I'd probably say in 6 as well. Just kind of that same scenario that he was playing out. I think they could even take it in 5. I don't think they'll sweep. I think they'll get one out of them. But yeah, I definitely think 5 or 6.
Okay, Scott, what about you?
I've still got hope. I've got Isles in 7. I feel like the Isles were the team that hadn't played in 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, they still have time to do it.
They still have time to make it back up. Plus, if we take both games in Carolina, which is very possible.
It is.
Possible. Because now, not only did the Islanders... First off, the game is on Wednesday. It's not tomorrow night. So they have another day of rest. They have another day of practice. Cal Clutterbuck's out with an unknown injury right now. So if he doesn't play, Michael Dowcall is probably getting into the lineup, which means Leo Komarov will be shifted down to the 4th line probably. And that means Dowcall will play with Tito Beauvillier and Valtteri Filppula probably. And also, the Islanders apparently have some black aces being called up from Bridgeport now that they lost in 5 to Hershey. Potentially along the lines of Sebastian Aho, Steven Gianta, Steve Bernier, Parker Wotherspoon, Chris Gibson, or even Kiefer Bellows. And all of which may even have even Bellows. Like, they may have a chance to get in the lineup if Trotz sees stuff from them.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that the Islanders can get back to. We'll see that. Alex, what about you?
Have a chance. I don't care if it's not the only 1-1 series or if it's still like if Carolina looks good. The Islanders have just been Carolina's been lucky. The boards helped them out one game, and then the other game, the Islanders hit the post twice, and then the refs blew back a goal too early, and the puck went in the net. So,
Yep. Okay, so
Isles in 7.
Alex. Okay. Alex, your prediction for Isles Canes?
I have Isles in 7 as well. Carolina's riding the momentum. I think they'll come back down to earth. And then at the end of the day, the Islanders just play amazing defense. And I think defense will come down to like the rest of the games. I think the highest scoring game the series will be 5.
Yeah, I could see that coming. I actually haven't said my prediction, and this is gonna shock all you. I actually think the Canes do the sweep.
Really?
Yeah, like I just think like the Islanders have gotten unlucky, but this isn't the worst that I've seen of an unlucky team. Like I feel like it might get worse.
I don't know if it'll get worse from here. I feel like the Islanders will come back. Obviously, they're missing Johnny Boychuk right now, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
lost their defense. And Sebastian Aho may be the call-up and may immediately be slotted into the lineup ahead of Game 4, which is something that I've been hearing, potentially Sebastian Aho getting in against Sebastian Aho, which is just really funny in general. But Aho had a fantastic season in Bridgeport. I watched majority of the games. Bridgeport was good this year, and Aho had another very strong season. I think next year Sebastian Aho could be an everyday NHL defenseman, and
he could be. He's been looking good, like with his development.
He's showing that he's worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with that series.
Let's see Sebastian Aho fight Sebastian Aho this series.
Islanders Aho isn't a fighter.
Neither is the other Aho.
He's a skill offensive defenseman.
Yeah. Okay, so
I know, just still, it would be funny.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to the next series, which is Bruins and Blue Jackets, which is tied at 1. So let's go to the Blue Jackets fan. Joey, who do you think wins the series?
I'm gonna say it goes to 7. I think Bruins are probably gonna win it out. I just don't have faith in the goaltending after all season and what I've seen.
You think Bob's gonna turn back to playoff, Bob?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
the case.
Yep. Okay, Scott, what about you?
I got Bruins in 5.
Oh wow, you haven't taken the next 3.
I have the Bruins taking the next 3. I feel like Columbus is just going to sit back and they're going to try their hardest. I feel like, and this is just gut, I feel like these next 3 games are going to be Sergei Bobrovsky, Artemi Panarin, Matt Duchene, and Ryan Dzingle's last game as a Blue Jacket. And the Columbus Blue Jackets will be happy with the outcome, but at the same time, they're going to regret giving up first and second and third round picks for years to come, along with a strong forward prospect of Vitaly Abramov to the Senators.
Yeah, I could see that. Honestly, I see at least one of them staying. Like, just one of them, but you may be right. All of them might leave.
At this point, there are 2 of which I could see staying. Ryan Dzingel
Yeah.
and Matt Duchene. And I feel like Dzingel's going to be the one
Yeah.
to stay because he'll take a hometown discount. Duchene's probably going to want upwards of $8 million a year for 6 years. So,
Oh no, Duchene's gonna get paid.
yeah, Duchene's going to get... Duchene and Panarin are both going to get paid. So if they want to keep...
Yep.
At least they have to keep one if they want to keep both. They can only keep one.
Yeah.
All right. So who?
Hey, Andrew, what about you?
I've got the Jackets in 7 games. I just think like both teams are constructed in a very similar fashion. They've got high skill in their top 6, and then the bottom 6 is a lot of physicality, a lot of bruisers, a lot of grinders. And I think the key to this series is going to be the bottom 6 scoring
Okay.
in this series. And I think the Jackets have just a little bit more of that, and their depth scoring will send them on to the conference final.
Oh yeah. Alex, what about you?
I have Columbus in 7. I just think Columbus is going to end up playing with more heart than Boston, because Boston knows they don't have a lot of time with some Marchand and Bergeron, like maybe 2 or 3 more years, but they don't need to win this year. But Columbus and Tortorella know that they need to win this year, and I think that'll motivate them to win.
The only team that needed to win this year were the Leafs, and apparently Dubas has permission to fire Babcock without ownership. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Babcock won't get fired.
Oh no, they're not axing him. They'll give him one more year.
It'll be interesting though. They're going to be
Yep. So my prediction for series, I'd say Blue Jackets in 6. Like, just for the sole reason of I want to see a Carolina Blue Jackets conference final, just because of that sole reason. I want to see it. Like,
Don
just
Cherry
think
would
of
not like that
thinking
conference
to
final.
it. Oh, they wouldn't.
Don Cherry can suck it.
Oh yeah.
You can deal with your bunch of jerks and the Jackets, and that would be a fun conference final.
It would be.
I'd like to see a fun conference final. It's been like not that
I would also would like to see one that was
not that past conference finals haven't been fun, but this would be an actually fun conference final because no one expected it. We get teams we don't expect. We get new storylines. We get new marketing, and you can market the league, market more players.
Yep. So okay, now let's go to the next one. Stars and Blues, which they're playing Game 3 right now. Which can anyone tell me what the score of Game 3 is?
They're up 2-1.
Okay, so let's start with you, Alex. Who do you think wins the series?
I got St. Louis in 6. I sound like urinating true right now, but Jared Binnington is just too good right now.
Jordan Binnington.
Binnington is...
Oh yeah, no, dude's been a revelation for the Blues.
He has. I mean,
okay,
Binnington has been good, and the Blues have some decent scorers like O'Reilly and Tarasenko. But at the end of the day, I think it'll be Binnington if they win.
Yep. Andrew, what about you?
Let's not forget also Jaden Schwartz and Braden Shen are also really good scorers for the St. Louis Blues, and it'll be their score. Like the goaltender is pretty. I'd say is pretty even in this series between Bishop and Bennington with the way both have been playing this year. So it'll be whoever can score more goals.
Oh, yeah.
I think St. Louis has a little bit more with Tarasenko, Shen, Schwartz, Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Parayko. I've got the Blues in 6. Like, the Blues were down 2-0 in Game 1 and stormed back in the third period to take Game 1 at home. Dallas controlled in Game 2, but it's been pretty even tonight. They've gotten, it's 2-1, it's shots are real close, and it's been a really good series, but it should be a fun one the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah. Completely. Scott, what about you?
This is the one that's a little controversial for me. Like, I really have a thing. This Dallas Stars team is really good. Like, this is one of the stronger teams they've had in a while. Jim Montgomery has changed the entire team, basically. Like, I haven't seen Sagan, Ben, and Radulov play like this in a long time, any of them.
Oh, yeah.
I, however, am going to say St. Louis in 7. This Bennington and Bishop, obviously, one nominated and may win the Vezina, one nominated still won't win the Calder. But they're both very good goaltenders. The rest of the goalies in the playoffs, like all 8 goalies left in the playoffs, Mrazek, Leonard, Bennington, Bishop, Grubauer, Jones, who's been iffy, Tuukka Rask, and Bobrovsky, they're all really good goalies. So the best goaltending matchup, though, is this series.
Oh, it is. And just for a side note, who expected these 8 goaltenders this far into the season? Like, left.
We could expect Tuukka Rask, but
yeah.
Could have expected
the others,
everyone else.
I think Tuukka Rask and Martin Jones you could expect at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
not Martin Jones because of his goaltending, but because of San Jose and the team they've built.
Yeah, but like, where's Carey Price? Where's Frederick Anderson?
Carey Price is in Montreal.
Where's Vasilevsky?
Where's Vasilevsky?
Vasilevsky got swept.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's Fleury? Oh, screwed over by the refs.
Rene. Where's Murray? Like, we're looking at Peter Mrazek and Philip Grubauer in the second round of the playoffs.
Peter Mrazek, the goalie who couldn't turn left at the end of last season.
Oh, yeah.
Has somehow found his game in Carolina, of all places.
Oh, no, he finally realized that he was supposed to be a good goaltender after all that potential he had with Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And the little bit of potential he had in Philly at the end of last year.
Yeah,
which didn't show up at all.
Not at
He
all.
wasn't being ruined by Ken Holland.
He was ruined by Dave Haxtell, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He was ruined in his...
But Dave ruined everybody.
All right. So let's keep moving on as we're trying to keep this to like a fair time percentage or a fair time, and we spent a good percentage of it on this already. So let's keep it going. We got one last series to cover: Colorado and San Jose.
Yep. Just before that, I'm gonna say like my prediction for Stars Blues in 7. So that's straightforward. It's straightforward. You guys already explained most of it. So
I had.
Yeah, basically. So Sharks and Avalanche. Now I'm gonna start with my opinion first. I think Sharks take this in 6. Just for the sole reason of, one, they're the veteran team, but then again, veteranocity doesn't always prove right. But also, I think they're just gonna try to wear down that first line. I think it might work somehow. Also, I think Jones maybe gets his shit together in a few games. That would help them a lot. And also, I just want to see that rematch of 2016 Blues versus Sharks, because I love that series back in 2016.
But it wasn't Martin Jones and Jordan Bennington. It was Martin Jones
Yeah.
and Jake Allen.
Yep. But I just want to see how this version works out. So, let's go with Scott. Who do you think wins the series?
Oh, wait, did you go to me?
Yeah.
Oh. This is another really good series. The Western Conference series I feel like are better than the East. Even though
Oh, it
the
is.
East have the more interesting series, like the West are gonna be like the more intense ones. I've got San Jose in 6 as well. I think that when you're looking at players like Timo Meyer and Kevin LeBlanc, they San Jose's got the depth, and
Yeah.
having players like Melker Carlson and Barclay Goodrow and Antti Suomala, guys who can plug into that bottom 6, like they're good players too.
Yeah. Okay. Andrew.
I've got the Sharks in 7. It's, as Scott said, the depth scoring for San Jose is just so much better than the depth for Colorado. Colorado's got that top line of Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, and Mikko Rantanen, and yes,
Not
they're
much
world
else.
beaters, but the Sharks' top line is able to shut them down, and even though the Avalanche added Cale Makar in this postseason, that's not going to be enough to push them over the top.
Yeah. Joey.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar. San Jose and 6 at pretty much all the same reasons. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yep. Alex, your last one. Who do you think wins the series?
I have Colorado in 7. I hate the Avs, but I think Jones is too inconsistent. Sometimes
And you think that first line is going to overpower the Sharks?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a possibility.
Jones will just Jones will falter.
That's a possibility. Like all of this is possibility. So yeah, that's the NHL topic.
I'll say this right now though. Where has Gustav Nyquist been? Like,
he scored a goal.
he's been very inconsistent for San Jose in the playoffs.
He has.
To be fair, that might be his whole tenure with Detroit.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our next topic is the NBA playoffs, and who's hosting this topic?
Joey.
Yeah, sorry, I got talked over and I didn't hear anything. Yeah, so pretty much just the round 1 recap. Unlike the NHL playoffs, there wasn't a whole lot of surprise. You know, your big teams all went over. Only one series was even competitive with Nuggets and Spurs.
Yeah.
So
pretty much for me, the only surprise was that Portland was so one-sided against OKC. I thought that would be a very close matchup. Everything else was, very one-sided.
Yeah, to be honest, I never bought into the hype of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like even back when Russell Wilson had those triple doubles, I legitimately didn't think they were a threat in the playoffs. That might be a little bit weird to say.
No, OKC is definitely one of those teams where it's like Russ puts so much on his back. He's a stat chaser,
Yeah,
so they always look really good.
him and Paul George just continued to stat pad this year, and like, not only was Portland OKC so one-sided, Damian Lillard took over.
Oh no, he single-handedly beat the Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing from the first round is single performances rather than a whole team.
Yeah, and I said this last week. My favorite moment for last week: Damian Lillard sinking that that series winning 3.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Now I guess that's like more like the most exciting series is like, I would say like Portland OKC just because of the pure dominance by Lillard. But I don't think like the difference between exciting and like interesting could definitely be different, because like exciting could be like the head to head, like the game 7s, like the Dame Lillards and stuff like that, or just interesting like how Golden State actually looked vulnerable against the Clippers.
Yeah.
So
All I know about these playoffs are that my Pistons got butt raped by a Greek person.
Yeah, the Greek.
Yeah, Giannis is good.
Yeah.
A monster.
Chris Middleton's
So
odd too. Don't worry about it.
For me, not to show bias, but the storyline between the Sixers and the Nets, what developed between the Sixers and Jared Dudley,
Oh yeah.
was
Oh my goodness.
made that series exciting.
Oh no, like
Because
when I saw Jared Dudley doing that, I was just like, okay, Jared Dudley, what are you doing? But at the same time saying like, yes, I need some excitement in this sport.
And then they just crapped on them in Game 5
Oh no, like
and didn't allow them to score at all in the first
no.
quarter.
Oh no, as a Nets fan, they got absolutely destroyed. Like
In Game 5, yeah.
yeah, like it wasn't
That
close.
wasn't even, yeah.
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm just pulling for Zion. I really right now. I'm just waiting for Zion and Kevin Durant. That's about it.
Keep
then
dreaming
Renz,
about
did you say
KD.
what your most exciting was?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So round 2 preview. Obviously, you got Warriors and Rockets, which is one of the big ones. You got Portland and Nuggets. You got Boston and the Bucks, and then you got 76ers and Toronto.
Started yesterday, and Boston completely obliterated Milwaukee. They made Giannis look vulnerable.
Yep.
Yeah. Boston's always been, for the last 2 years, one of those teams where I thought they had the chance to win it all. Just injuries kept them out from last year. I think this year they have a really good shot.
Oh no, they make the finals if they had Kyrie. Simple as that. Like so.
So with the Warriors and Rockets, what are your guys' predictions?
Warriors,
but yeah. So we're just gonna run through this because we got our last thoughts, and then obviously we got some other stuff to plan. As just quick little throw in, we're gonna start doing these Monday, Thursday. They're gonna be coming out every week unless there's like a certain situation like the Stanley Cup or draft or something. But so I'm just back in here. I'm gonna say Warriors, even though the whole Rockets calling out the refs and giving like them a list of 81 plays they missed in Game 7 last year. That was just completely ridiculous to the point where like we all know the refs are inconsistent in every sport.
Yeah, and there's always one or two teams that, generally get the calls because whether it's media, fans, whatever.
Warriors, Patriots, Penguins.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then baseball, you really can't think of anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's harder.
Yeah, it is.
Baseball.
You don't really.
Baseball is harder to dictate a game.
For being an ump in baseball, all you need to know how to do is call something a strike and something a ball. You don't even need to know where the strike zone is. You just need to know what to say.
Yeah. Don't tell Angel Hernandez that.
Or Joe West.
That's just what Angel Hernandez already does. He just calls it all randomly.
Oh, yeah.
Down the middle, ball, up and inside, strike.
No one knows with him.
All right, so back over to the NBA. Joey, let's move on to the.
So we got Trailblazers and Nuggets as the next series. Let's go with Scott. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna say Denver. I think Jokic and Cantor is gonna be something else. So that's gonna be nice, and especially watch it. Like I'm excited. Like the things that Enes Kanter has said about the Knicks. Like I mean, I'm not super happy because he's kind of said some stuff that isn't true. So like I just think the Nuggets will take over. Gary Harris representing my new college, Michigan State, killing it so far in the playoffs. So we'll see how far the Nuggets can go.
Cool, Andrew.
I'm going to take Portland in 7.
Cool. Renz, how about you?
Yeah, I think Nuggets in 7. They seem like the deeper team than Portland, and I still think this is going to be a great series. But just going a little bit forward, I still think the Nuggets get destroyed by the Warriors. Yes, I'm already thinking that ahead.
Okay, and Alex, how about you?
I'm taking Portland in 5. Just the way that they dominated OKC. I think you can't pick against them.
Yeah, for me, if Dame can get going, he can dictate a series. I think he's very underrated as a single player. I think I got Portland in 5, I believe it was.
All right. So
Okay, Boston, Milwaukee. How about you, Scott?
Boston, so easy. That's
Cool.
gonna be so good though.
Give me the Milwaukee Bucks in 6.
Renz, how about you?
Yeah, I got Boston in 7. I just think Antetokounmpo is just going to get neutralized this entire series.
Alex?
I'm gonna go Milwaukee. Why? No reason. Just they're the number 1 seed, and the number 1 seed in basketball usually goes far.
I'm going to go with Boston. I think it's probably about a 5 or 6 game series. I do think Giannis picks it up towards the end, but I think it'll be a little too. 76ers and Toronto, who are actually playing currently right now. Scott, what's your prediction?
I think this is gonna be the year Kawhi Leonard makes his run and actually sees that maybe staying with the Raptors is potentially a good thing. I got the Raptors.
As a Sixers fan, after game 1, I was saying Raptors in 5. Seeing what the Sixers are doing tonight, the way they've played, if they can continue to play this way, give me the Raptors in 6. Even as a Sixers fan, I think the Raptors take it just in more games.
Mm-hmm.
Renz, how about you?
Yeah, I think this is going to be the one. I think this is going to be the time that the Raptors finally get out of the second round and get to the third round. They just seem too good right now.
They're the Caps of the NBA.
Yeah.
Alex?
I have Toronto winning that series.
Awesome. I actually, I think the 76ers will pull it out. I think their guys will start to dominate. They'll pick it up. Toronto is always one of those teams that just for some reason seems to not be able to get over the hump in the second round. But we'll see.
But my issue with that is Toronto just has the Sixers number. Kawhi is 13-0 currently against the 76ers in his career.
All right. So that about wraps it up for the NBA. Let's just let's go on quickly, run around, do our little last thoughts segment. Ren, started off with you.
Final thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
So my final thoughts is a little bit more of a bias point, and it's about the Mets. Okay? Can you guys please fix your rotation? Like, this is supposed to be a strength, not a weakness.
Hey, you know what? As long as the Mets pitching can keep hitting, maybe they
That's
keep
true.
the Mets hitting to learn how to pitch.
Now, funny enough, I did look this up. The Mets hitting has actually been decent. Like, they're not actually the worst. They're not actually a bad hitting team anymore. They're just average now this year.
The pitching is just below average.
Oh yeah, no. Your best pitcher is Matz with an ERA of 3.6. Like, yeah, okay. Who wants to go next?
Alex.
I'll go. So my final thoughts is about collegiate water polo. Congratulations to the Michigan women's water polo team for winning back-to-back championships.
All right.
That's what, 4 or 5?
Yeah,
Four.
4. I
Back
won
to
4 in a row.
back. Michigan Wolverines water polo.
Women's water polo.
All right, Joey.
Sticking with the baseball, kind of like a more local thing with the Reds. It is always an issue for them to have one or the other. They'll have the pitching be very well. Bats are quiet. Bats are great. Pitching is just choking games away. It's like a never-ending thing, and it's just happening again this year, and it's one of those things where it's like, how does this not get solved eventually?
Yeah. I'm turning on that game in the background actually now. All right, Andrew,
Allow me to talk some British Premier League
go ahead.
for a minute.
Gonna
Liverpool and Man City coming down to the wire. 2 games to go. Liverpool has a 2-point lead on City. Liverpool plays 3 games in the same time, or Liverpool has 4 games left before decision day in the Premier League. Manchester City has 2. They have both league games. Liverpool has to play both legs of their UEFA Champions League semi-final against FC Barcelona.
have fun.
I am praying to God that Leicester City can surprise the world and shock them and shock Manchester City, and there will be a Vardy party against Manchester City that allows Liverpool to clinch the league title. Or to get there with with Man City dropping points to Leicester, Liverpool will win the league because they only have to play Newcastle and someone else before the end of the season.
Castle's an iffy team this year.
Yeah, Newcastle's not good, and the other team are playing is also not good. Leicester City is a top 8 side this year. Leicester City shocks Man City, Liverpool wins the Prem, and wins the UEFA Champions League.
That would be fun.
Lock it in.
Lock
it in.
All right. So I'm actually going to also jump into the soccer side of things. Bayern up 2 points on Borussia Dortmund with 3 games left. These will be Christian Pulisic's last couple games with Dortmund before he moves over to Chelsea this coming summer. So maybe he could pull it out with Dortmund. Maybe he won't. Also, in the MLS side of things, the entire league is messed up because the teams who were supposed to be good are bad, and the teams who were supposed to be bad, plus both Los Angeles teams, because LAFC and the Galaxy are just way too good right now.
They're just better than the entire league.
Yeah, both of them are better than the entire league. They could probably beat an all-star team of every other team.
If only they could be the MLS Cup final.
They could. Also, Colorado Rapids, best of luck. You have 2 points through 9 games. And Atlanta United, please don't protest. Please don't protest about your coach too early. All right, so that is about going to do it for the second episode of the Wild Blueberries Roundtable. We will come out with another one on Thursday. There will be more hockey involved. There will be some baseball, a little bit more baseball involved. Football, obviously, now we're getting to the stale side until the season comes around and training camp comes around and the Reds just homered. But that is it, and we will see you guys on Thursday. All right, peace.